haven't already, set an intention for class or just remind yourself of something you're grateful for. You can open up your eyes and we're just going to start to move in circles. So it doesn't matter which direction you start with. It doesn't matter how big or how small the circle is. We're just starting to wake up our bodies, like trunk rotations. Let's do one more in whatever direction you're going in. And then we're gonna switch and do maybe about 5 or so circles in the other direction. So staying with those deep breaths, inhaling partway through the circle, exhaling the other part of the way through the circle. Let's do one more in this direction. All right, good. And then we'll just come to sitting up tall. Let's just reach the arms up. So lengthen through the spine, draw the shoulders down and back, and then arms are back, so back towards the ears, and we're gonna take a twist to your right. So left hand to the outside of that right leg, right hand behind the back. So sit up nice and tall in that twist. Little shoulder neck stretch. So looking over your right shoulder, checking out what's behind you. On your next inhale, let's come back through to the center. Add the arms, just pause here, shoulders down and back as we reach up tall through the fingertips. And then exhale, let's twist in the other direction. Twisting through that upper body to just kind of start to warm up the back and the spine. Deep breaths. Come back through to the center, reach the arms up, and then we're gonna open up to cactus arms. So bringing the elbows out to the side, squeeze the shoulders together in the back, open the chest, look forward, maybe look up. All right, good, you can release. So we're gonna come to a seated butterfly pose. So just kind of stretching out, starting to stretch out the hips and the inner legs. Maybe keeping it a little more loose to start with. So instead of the feet being enclosed, pushing them away, maybe starting with a little movement, so flapping the wings of the butterfly. And then we'll just come to sitting up tall, lengthen through the spine, take a nice deep inhale, and keeping the chest lifted, let's start to hinge from the hips. Reach, reach, reach. Take maybe 2 deep breaths here with the spine nice and long. And then eventually, if you want to, you can start to round. So round the back, round the shoulders, bring the forehead down closer towards the feet. Let's take at least 5 or 6 deep breaths here. All right, good. You can make your way all the way up. So we're gonna transition onto our hands and knees, but I want you guys to maybe stagger yourself. So we're gonna do some side work. So make sure you can take one leg out long. So you might just, someone needs to move forward and back, and you're gonna start with the right leg out long. Yeah, so you'd kind of look like this on your mat. You can go to the side of your mat too. Yeah, so the setup is the foot, the knee, and then the hand are gonna be in line. So whatever way you're facing, chicken, hand, knee, foot in line. Lift that hip up. Yes, good. From here, point that toe, and we're just gonna lower and lift. So we're getting a little bit into the Pilates part. So you wanna keep that core still. You're only lowering and lifting that leg. Point the toe, so you're reaching it up, but outward. Good. Let's do 4 more like this. 3, 2, 1. We're gonna come up onto the knee, so we're just up, and then we're gonna stretch towards that leg that's out long. So just nice side stretch, obliques. Reach. All right, we're gonna come back down. We're gonna set up for that side plank variation, but we're gonna add on. So this time, extend the arm forward, lift the leg up. We're gonna add a crunch. So inhale, exhale, bring the elbow to the knee, crunch. Inhale, reach and lengthen. So take your time. Do these nice and slow with control, keeping the knee in line with the hip, extending through the arms and the legs when you reach out long. Inhale to reach, exhale to crunch. All right, good. Let's do 2 more. And then we're gonna come up and take that side oblique stretch again. So one more time, just stretching up and over, stretching those side muscles. Good. We're gonna come to that side plank again, and we just have one more variation. So last set, you can keep the hands on the hip or extend the arms out long, reach that leg up. I'm gonna keep the hands on the hip because this one's a little harder. We're gonna start to move in circles. So small to medium circles. You just wanna move the leg whatever direction you're going. We're doing about 10. Point through the toe. Good. Trying to keep that core still. Maybe start to feel it in the hips. Let's go ahead and switch directions, about 10 or so more in the other direction. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're just gonna hold it after that last one. Hold the leg, maybe reach the arm out, just hold it for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Let's take a child's pose here. Actually, let's roll out the wrists a little bit. So being on that side plank can be a lot for the wrists. So just bringing the hands together, rolling out the wrists a few times in each direction. And while I'm saying that, if it does feel like too much for the wrists, when we go to the other side, you can try coming onto the forearm. Let's take a child's pose first. So just sit back towards the heels. Reach the arms out, bring the forehead down, take 5 deep breaths here. Feeling that nice stretch for the back, the hip, the inner legs. Good, let's make our way back onto the hands and knees and just set up for the other side. So just make sure, however you set up, you're switching sides. That's the most important. So hands, knee, foot is in line. Top hand can start at the hip, and then whenever you're ready, just lifting and lowering that top leg, pointing through the toe, lifting it up a little bit more than hip height, but think of lifting it outward. So someone's pulling on that toe and pulling it out long. So your right leg, if you were doing what I did, your right leg should be the one moving. All right, let's do 2 more. Lifting and lowering, and then we're gonna come all the way up. Let's stretch over to the side. All right, let's make our way back down. This time we're gonna set up for the crunch. So reach that top arm, extend it forward, lift that leg up, pause, inhale, exhale, elbow to knee crunch, inhale, reach and lengthen. So keeping that leg out long, knee in line with the hip, if you can, good. Exhale to crunch, inhale to reach. About halfway through, so maybe 4 or 5 more. After your last one, we're gonna come up and do 1 more side stretch. So coming up on the knee, stretching towards the leg that's out long. Yes, good. All right, last set. So take a moment to set up. Maybe keep the hands on the hip, lift that leg up, point the toe, and then start to move in circles, maybe keeping them small, just so that you can control the movement. And then if it feels pretty controlled, keep that leg out in line with that hip, maybe moving a little bit bigger circles. And let's go ahead and switch directions, about 10 or so in the other direction. 8 more, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's hold it. So maybe add the arm, reaching it up or forward. Hold that leg out in line with the hip for 5, 4, good, 3, 2, 1, release. If you want, roll out the wrists again, and then we'll take a child's pose. If you want, you can grab a quick drink of water if you brought some water. Come back to your yoga breath, taking those long, deep inhales and exhales through your nose. All right, let's make our way onto our hands and knees. We're just gonna do a few rounds of cat-cow pose. Stretching out the back and the spine a little bit. So spread out those fingers when you're ready. Inhale to drop the belly, bring the heart forward and look up. And then on your exhale, round your back, round your shoulders, bring the chin to the chest, exaggerating the movement. Getting a nice stretch for the back and the spine. One or two more. All right, you can either stay right here or make your way into a downward facing dog. So down dog, just tuck the toes, send the hips up and back. Take a nice stretch here. Make sure the fingers are spread out to protect the wrists. Maybe find some movement, bending the knees, heel toeing the feet. Relax the head and neck so the chin's towards the chest. And from wherever you're at, either hands and knees or down dog, we're gonna come up to standing in a ragdoll forward fold. So just make your way up. We're gonna keep a nice bend in the knees, keep us a little space between the feet, let everything kind of just hang loose. So let the head and the neck relax. So maybe shake the head yes and no. Make sure it's kind of relaxed, it's just hanging there. Maybe sway the arms or grab the elbows, kind of sway side to side, loosening up the back muscles. Feeling that in the back of the leg, lifting up through the hips, spread out the toes, maybe sway a little bit forward, a little bit back, and then settle in the middle. From here, we'll come to a half lift. So take the hips to the shins, just come up halfway, draw the shoulders back, extend the head and neck forward. Good. Exhale, fold forward again. See if you can go a little bit further. So just a micro bend in the knees this time. And then on your next inhale, we'll come all the way up. So add the arms, extended mountain pose, reaching long through the fingertips. Hands to the heart center. And we're just gonna move through a nice standing flow. So moving with the breath, inhale, reach. Exhale, easy forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold forward again, a little bit deeper, and then inhale to come all the way up. Reaching through the arms, the fingertips, hands to heart center. Same thing again, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold again, and then come all the way up. If you want a little balance challenge, maybe try coming onto the tiptoes. Hold it for a few extra breaths. And then release. Shake it out. Tiptoes surprisingly hard. All right. We're going to move through a sun salutation here to really just stretch out and warm up the whole body. So you can step to the front of your mat. Again, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to make your way to a plank. Pause for a moment, just feeling nice and strong, either staying on the toes or dropping to the knees. We'll lower down through chaturanga. Cobra or up dog, drawing the shoulders back, lift up your head, neck, and chest. Good. Exhale to lower down. And then we'll come back into a down dog or just hands and knees, cat cow. So whatever your preference is, take 5 deep breaths here. Coming back to those yoga breaths, long deep inhales and exhales through the nose. And then wherever you're at, we're gonna bend the knees and then bring the feet up to the hands, coming to a forward fold again. Good. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold deeper, and then inhale to come all the way up. Extended mountain pose. If you want to come onto the toes, come onto the toes, or just extend through the arms. Good. All right, let's lower down, hands to heart center, shake it out. All right, so we're gonna do some standing, we're gonna do squats. So we're gonna do some standing Pilates. We're gonna do a few sets, going between squats and then some arm work. So we're gonna start out with feet are about the width of the mat and they're gonna be turned out. All right, so kind of a V. Yeah, and you can face me if you wanna go a little bit wider if it's easier. So let's do the first few a little bit slow. So let's lower down and we're just gonna pause just to kind of check our alignment. So knees are gonna truck out in line with the toes, chest is gonna stay lifted. And then as we come up, let's bring the arms down and then lower down and then come up. So find a breathing pattern, just inhaling partway through the move, exhaling the other part of the way through the move. Good. Let's do 8 more like this. Keeping that chest lifted. So the hands at the heart center are helping to remind you to keep the chest lifted, going low, pressing the knees out, spreading out the toes. Let's do 2 more like this. And then we're just gonna change the feet so that they're parallel. So this time feet are forward. Knees still track over the toes. Weights mostly back in the heels. So you can maybe see the toes as you sit back into your squat. Good, 8 more like this. Starting to feel it in the glutes and the hips. You're like, wait, I thought it was 8 more when we started. Repetition, so really feeling that burn. All right, let's do 3 more. Last one, let's hold it down here and we're gonna pull. So holding it nice and low, up an inch, down an inch for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up, shake it out. All right, so next we're gonna step to the back of your mat. So this is gonna be the back of my mat. We're gonna do a standing roll down. We're gonna walk out to a plank and we're gonna do 10 chest push-ups. All right, if you do them fast, you're gonna do more than 10. So we're gonna go slow, all right? So just standing roll down, so rolling down through the spine. And then walk the hands out to a plank. Hands are gonna be wide, so chest push-ups, elbows come out. You can either stay on the toes or drop to the knees. Lower down, exhale to lift up. You're just going at your own pace. We're doing 10, goal is 10, but that's okay if you do 8, if you do 8 good ones. Holding that nice plank. Using the breath. And once you've done about 10 or so, hold that plank and we're gonna walk the hands back. Coming back to a forward fold and then rolling the body up nice and slow. Roll the shoulders out. All right, we're coming back to the squat. We're gonna start with the parallel squat. So feet wide, when you're ready, lower down, lift up. Spread out the toes, so feet facing forward this time to start with. Good. Chest stays lifted. Getting nice and low in those squats. Inhaling part way through, exhaling the other part of the way through. Good. All right. From here, we're gonna do 8 more. So we'll go for 8. It's okay if you're going at my pace or your own pace. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're gonna hold that last one, but this time we're gonna come up onto one toe and then, or one toe and then the other. So we're just gonna alternate. So we're gonna stay low, just alternate heel lifts coming onto that tiptoe. Yes. Getting a nice stretch for the ankles and the calves. Let's do 8 more. 7, 6, still holding that squat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make your way up, shake it out. All right, we're just gonna do 1 more roll down to push-ups. So this is our last set of push-ups, but this time, instead of hands being out wide, elbows going out to the side, tricep push-ups, which are a little bit harder. Hands under the shoulder, elbows bend straight back, working the back of the arms. All right, so when you're ready, rolling down through the spine, walking out to a plank, and then pausing at that plank, either staying on the toes or dropping to the knees, elbows bend straight back, either going down halfway or the whole way. Nice form. Goals to do about 10. Inhales, you lower down. Exhale to press up. Once you've done about 10 or so, we're gonna hold that plank and then walk the hands back, coming back up to standing. All right, good. Roll out the shoulders. We have one more set of squats. This is our last set. This time feet are in turnout. All right, so working a little bit different part of the hips and the glutes when the feet are in turnout. All right, whenever you're ready, let's lower, bend, and extend the legs. Check, make sure the knees are pressed out in line with the toes. Chest is lifted, good. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth or the nose, but good. All right, let's do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, we're gonna hold that last one, so hold it nice and low, chest is lifted. We're gonna pulse, but option to try it on the toes. All right, good. Keeping the toes up the whole time. Let's pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the heels, release, shake it out. Good job. Grab a quick drink of water, and then we're gonna stretch out our hips that we just worked and the quads, working with some standing balance. For the standing balance, we're gonna do a standing figure 4 and a quad stretch. If you wanna kind of step where you can have your hand on something, you can go ahead and do that. Or just step off a big squishy mat if that helps. All right, so let's start with the right foot on the ground, and we're gonna start with a quad stretch. So you can grab the big toe side of the left foot. Let's just pause here, finding our balance here for a moment. Standing knee's gonna stay soft, it's not gonna lock out. And then if you want to, you can reach that other arm up. Good. So either just staying right here, or if you wanna go a little further, we're gonna hinge forward, pressing the foot into the hand. Pause. If you fall out, just come back in. It's just a practice. Feeling that nice quad stretch. Gaze can be down at the ground in front of the mat. Let's hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly make your way up. So same leg, we're gonna do figure 4 stretch. So let's bend the knees. So right foot leg still on the ground, left ankle's gonna come above the knee, and then open up the hip. You can start out standing up higher, hands to heart center to keep the chest lifted, and then we'll work towards going lower. As you go lower, feeling a little bit more in the hip and the glute, and then challenging the balance a little bit more. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make your way up. Maybe roll out that ankle. Good. Same thing on the other side. So just switching sides, taking your time to set up. So coming back to the breath, standing nice and tall, and then when you're ready, just grabbing the big toe side of that other foot. Adding the arm, making sure that standing knee is soft as we start to hinge forward, just bit by bit. Pressing the foot into the hand to feel that quad open, so you hinge forward a little bit more, and then just holding it. Deep breaths, about 5 or so deep breaths. Good, slowly make your way up. All right, last stretch. So bending the knees, bringing the ankle above the knee, open up the hip, our standing figure 4, stretching out the quads and the glutes. Work towards getting a deeper bend in the knees. Or if you fall out, just work on it not frustrating you. Just come back in, try again. One more deep breath. And then you can make your way up. Let's shake it out. Shake it out, roll out the ankle. So we're done with our standing balance. All right. We're gonna do a little bit of core work. So let's go to the back of the mat. We're gonna do a roll down to a plank and then a forearm plank. And we're just gonna do a forearm plank hold. So let's do a roll down to start with. We're gonna walk out to a plank and then give our wrists a little bit of a break by coming onto the forearms. Yes. Shoulders, elbows under the shoulders, shoulder blades broad and apart. Good. Deep breaths here. Lifting up through the core. 5 more deep breaths. Good. And then you can drop to the knees, sit back towards the heels. We'll just take a child's pose here. Maybe taking the hands behind you to release the shoulders a little bit. All right, we're gonna do one more plank exercise. So your choice whether to be on the hands or the forearms, but I'll show you what it's gonna look like. So either on the hands or the forearms, we're just gonna do leg lifts. So you're gonna lift one leg up, point the toe, bring it back down, and then switch. Other leg comes up, point the toe, bring it back down. We're only gonna do 5 on each side because I want you to do these slow and pause when that leg is lifting. If you're doing it fast, you'll do more than 5 on each side, all right? Either on the forearms or the hands. When you're ready, nice strong setup. Lift one leg up, point the toe, pause, bring it back down. Other leg up, point the toe, pause, bring it back down. Just in line with the hip, nice strong core. Maybe about 3 more on each side. Let's do 2 more on each side. And 1 more on each side. When you're done, let's just sit back towards the heels and interlace the hands behind the back. So just release the shoulders. Good. All right, we're just gonna stretch out the shoulders a little bit. So we're gonna come to melted heart pose or puppy pose. So just starting on the hands and knees, keep the hips up high over top of the knees, and then walk your hands forward or slide your hands forward. Bringing the forehead down, or if you have more flexible shoulders, maybe the chin comes all the way down to the mat. Feeling that nice stretch in the upper back, the arms and the shoulders. Take one more deep breath here. And then you can just walk your hands back. Or let's just move the hips side to side. So as you move the hips to one side, little twist looking over that shoulder, and then to the other side, little twist looking over the other shoulder. Great. So we're gonna stretch the upper body a little bit more with thread the needle pose. So staying on the hands and the knees, you can start out reaching your right arm up. So inhale, reach it towards the sky, and then exhale to thread the needle to bring that right arm through. Bring the shoulder in the whole side of the head, maybe even the cheek down. Good. So you can take that other hand, the left hand, and either slide it forward, or you can bring it behind the lower back. And that's a nice variation because it helps to kind of open up that chest and that shoulder. So just let it rest or relax behind the lower back. About 5 deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, you can press that top hand down. Inhale, we're gonna reach the right arm up one more time. And then exhale, just come back to hands and knees. All right, same thing on the other side. So inhale, reach the other arm up, twist. Exhale, thread the needle. So bring that shoulder all the way down. So you're stretching out the back. The side of the head's down, a little bit of a neck stretch. Other hand can come behind the lower back. Then you can press that top hand back down. Inhale, reach the arm up, finish the stretch. And and then come back down. All right, good job. So from here, let's come back to a seat. I'm gonna do some more seated work. Let's start with a medium wide leg forward fold. So medium wide, so legs are about the width of the mat. If you know you have tight hamstrings, just allow for softer knees or a little bend in the knees. And we'll reach the arms up to inhale, exhale to start to make your way forward. Take 5 deep breaths here, feeling that nice stretch in the legs, the back, the hamstrings. And then lift up the head, the chest, walk the hands back. All right, so we're gonna keep the legs medium wide. We're gonna sit up tall and we're gonna do a twist variation. So take your hands out to cactus arms, so we should all have room to do that. Let's twist to the right. We're gonna do the first one slow. So twist, rotate, and then we're gonna extend the arms out long and then double pulse forward for that baby toe side of the foot. Inhale back to the center, just sit up tall, twist, rotate, and then extend the arms with a double pulse. All right, good. So we can go a little bit faster, just going at your own pace. Exhale as you pulse, inhale as you come back through to the center. Good. So really twisting, rotating through that spine as we also get a nice stretch, reaching forward. Let's flex the feet here just to kind of keep the legs engaged. So let's do 2 more on each side. One more on each side. All right. And then you can just come to sitting up tall again. Release. All right, let's bend the knees and we're just gonna do reverse tabletop. So hands are gonna come behind you and we're just gonna lift the hips up. A nice stretch for our back, hips stay up high, maybe the head drops back. Just take a few deep breaths here. Good, and then you can lower back down. So we're gonna come back to that forward fold, but this time let's keep both legs together. Again, if you have tighter hamstrings, keeping a little bend in the knees. We'll reach the arms up, inhale, and then exhale to reach, hinging from the hips, and then bringing the hands down. Deep breaths. Seeing if you can just feel like you can go a little bit further this time. On an inhale, we'll come to a seated half lift. So just lifting the head and the chest and then walk the hands back. All right, so this time reverse plank. So same thing we did before, but this time option to keep the legs straight. So if you prefer, you can bend the knees again. Legs straight is a little more challenging. Fingers facing you if possible. Lift the hips up. Either staying here or work towards pressing the feet down, which is even harder. Hold it. Maybe let the head drop back, about 5 deep breaths. Using those hamstring muscles to keep the legs, the hips up high. Good, lower back down. All right, great job. So we are gonna finish on our back with some core and some stretching. So if you and we're just gonna start with some crunches. So you're gonna bring the knees to a tabletop, so knees are in line with the hips. Hands can interlace behind the head, kind of keeping that neck extended out long. Inhale, exhale to lift the head, neck, and chest. Pause, crunch, inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift, pause at the top. Inhale, lower down. Let's do 8 more. Pausing at that top of the crunch to really maybe see if you can make that core shake, really work the inner abs. elbows out wide to keep the chest open, letting the head kind of lay back towards the hands. All right, after your last one, we're gonna add on. So we're gonna add a twist and a toe tap. So you're gonna lift up, twist to your right, and then when you lower down, that toe's opposite toe's gonna tap. Lift up, twist, just staying on the one side to start with. So option to just keep the knees at the tabletop, or you can move the opposite leg up and down, but make sure you're twisting in that crunch. We'll do 4 more, twisting to the right or just twisting to one side. Exhale as you come up. All right, after that last one, we're gonna hold that twist, hold that crunch, and just tap the toe. Shoulders lifted, good. For 8, 7, really twist. Keep that chest up. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Let's take a little reset. Hug the knees to the chest, rock side to side, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. I know. We're gonna start with 8 regular crunches, and then we're gonna do the twist. All right, so whenever you're ready, just coming up into that regular crunch. These are slow crunches. We're pausing it at the top to really feel it in the core. Shoulders lifted up off the mat. Good. All right, after that last one, we're gonna twist to the other direction. Maybe tap that toe down when you lower down. Exhale to come up and twist. About 8 or so. Really lifting that shoulder, twist, working those side muscles. That's part of your core, your obliques. Let's do one more like this, and then we're just gonna hold that twist and just tap the toe. For 8, 7, 6, keep the shoulders lifted. 4, 3, 2, last one. Hug the knees to the chest, rock side to side. Good job. All right. We have one more core exercise, and it's the Pilates 100. So we're going to start out, we're going to do 50 with the knees bent, and then the last 50, option to straighten the legs out 45 degrees. All right, so with the 100, we're lifting the head, neck, and chest and pumping the arms. So it's a quick breath. We'll inhale to a quick count of 5 and exhale to a quick count of 5. So when you're ready, lift up the head, neck, and chest. Arms are gonna pump. Let's go. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Last set. Option to extend the legs. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chest is lifted. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep those shoulders lifted. Inhale. Exhale. Last set. Let's inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug the knees to the chest. Great job. All right. Let's bring the feet down and just windshield wiper the knees side to side, releasing the back, releasing the hips. And then we'll take a little break. So just keep the feet out wide. Let the knees relax in towards each other. And just take a few moments to just lie on your back. Take about 3 deep breaths here. All right, we're gonna set up for just a bridge flow. So just nice and easy, we're gonna bend the knees about hips distance apart. Heels are up towards us. As we lift up into a bridge, we're gonna reach the arms up and over behind us. And then as we lower our hips down, arms can just go overhead. So just lifting up, extending the arms overhead, and then as you lower down, arms to the sky. And the arms are just optional. Yeah, so arms lift overhead and then you lower down, hands come to the sky. Let's do 2 more and then we're gonna hold the last one. So hold that last bridge. Option to keep the arms overhead or bring the hands by the side. Take about 5 deep breaths here, keeping the hips lifted. Good, and then you can lower back down. All right, we're gonna stretch out the hips a little bit more, the hips and the glutes. So let's come to a figure 4 stretch. So go ahead and take the right ankle above the left knee. Just gonna lift that foot up to go a little bit deeper, interlacing the hand behind the thigh or on top of the knee. Option to stay in that figure 4, but straighten the other leg up towards the sky. And then you can bend the knee, make your way out. Let's take a nice long stretch again. So reaching the arms overhead, straightening the legs. And then when you're ready, we'll set up for that figure 4 stretch on the other side. Maybe rolling out the ankles a few times to start with. Energetically pressing that knee out to the side to feel that nice stretch in the left hip and the left glute. Option to stay in the figure 4, but straighten the other leg up towards the sky. Good, and then you can bend that knee, make your way out. All right, from here, we're just gonna bring the knees into the chest. Arms can either, maybe they're out at cactus arms or they're just by your side, but we're just gonna come to a hover twist. So you're gonna twist both knees over towards the right, just hover and then come back through to the center. Drop both knees over towards the other side, just to hover, and then back through to the center. And we'll do that 2 more times on each side. So feeling that nice kind of stretch for the back, using the core to kind of move the legs up and over. 1 more time on each side. And then back through to the center. We're gonna finish with happy baby pose. So reaching for the outsides of the feet. Take the knees out wide and then press the knees down towards the mat. Maybe rock side to side a few times. Taking any extra stretch here, maybe bending one knee, straightening one leg. And then just taking any last movement, come to a comfortable position on our back to allow the back to relax. Allow the feet feet to just open out to the side. Allow the shoulders to relax down, so maybe the palms are open.